everybody. It's Jamie from Pandora Astrology here in Berkeley, California, along with Julia.
Hey guys, it's Julia Mijas joining in from San Francisco, California, and I've got my little buddy Luna with me.
It's December of 2019, and we have got a full moon in Gemini to tell you all about. As you can see from the chart, here's the moon in Gemini. It's opposite the sun in Sagittarius because that's basically what a full moon is. It's a time when the sun and the moon are in opposition. And the sun is with Pallas Athene in Sagittarius, bringing some strategic thoughts there. And then Neptune in Pisces is squaring them both. Julia, what are your thoughts about this moon? You were saying some pretty good stuff about it a minute ago.
Yeah, well, since we have the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius in here, that axis has a lot to do with information of all kinds. Like, this is a very mentally stimulating full moon.
Yeah.
Moon in Gemini is very focused on the facts, the details, trying to weave together the little pieces of information with that very big picture thinking Pallas Athene in the sign of Sagittarius, which is really the sign of greater perspective. But between this, how do I still kind of balance out the details with the big picture thinking?
Right.
We've got Neptune really, really strong in her own sign of Pisces, making a T-square out of this. And I think that creates maybe some confusion, some muddledness in the thinking, some impressionability in the thinking. What else are you thinking with that Neptune in there, Jamie?
Well, I think that when the moon is in Gemini, then emotions become intellectualized. There is this tendency to try to analyze and, put feelings into words, and feelings are often really nuanced, right? And so this can generate some anxiety inside a human being who is like, what am I feeling? What am I feeling? Oh, I tried to figure it out and then I lost it. What was I feeling? I don't even know anymore because I'm so in my head about it. That's Gemini moon in a nutshell. And but then Neptune, brings in this this mystery, this sense of like, oh, I'm waiting for something. I don't quite know what it is or when it's going to happen, but I'm in a state of suspended animation, just kind of like a holding pattern here. That's what Neptune can bring. And the whole thing just kind of paints a picture of anxiety, don't you think, Julia?
Yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that because I feel like the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, that's the fastest moving planet if you don't count the moon in the solar system from our perspective on Earth.
Yeah.
So, Mercury is going, nee! It moves really fast, and that's why it's associated with nervous tension, kind of high nerves.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really interesting point.
Yeah, and at this point here in December, Mercury is in Sagittarius, so it's pretty much escaped from the gravity well of its previous Mercury retrograde period, and it's starting to move on, it's starting to speed up, and things are kind of getting back to normal. But this might be the kind of moon, where you just spend the whole time feeling like a little bit anxious, a little bit of free-floating anxiety, that kind of thing, and then trying to balance that with this Pallas Athene, her view of the big picture and the strategies of how things fit together. But overall, I think it's bound to be fairly uncomfortable, especially for the mutable signs of the world.
I think that's a really good point. The one thing, though, about this T-square is they're all immutable signs. So I feel like the best way to handle a lot of maybe nervous mental tension you might be having around this time is to be as flexible in your thinking as possible. Because that's one great advantage of mutability. Don't get too locked and rigid in an anxious sort of mind bind, but just try to be flexible because I think that's kind of some of the support that's being offered by the T-square right now.
Yeah, that sounds really true to me. I think that the moon in Gemini has its weaknesses, but its strength is that intellectual drive and that desire to figure things out. And once the moon in Gemini fastens upon the right word for for what it's experiencing, then I think is a moment when you got to stop yourself and you got to say, okay, I figured it out. Let's take a pause here. Let's not overthink it. Let's not continue down that tunnel just because I'm feeling all this nervous energy right now.
Yeah.
And then also Neptune is saying draw on intuition. You're feeling something. You may be feeling something that's even coming in from a different angle, from behind you or to the side of you, not in that, linear view. and that could be exactly what your mind needs to solve the puzzle.
Mm,
And Pallas Athene's big picture view there in Sagittarius is also an integral part of, you know, living this moon in a way that just doesn't have to be so anxious.
mm.
So
Yeah, I love
not
that.
falling into the trap of overthinking and forgetting to check one's intuition.
Mm, very cool.
So mutable signs will probably be feeling this the most strongly. These are the mutable signs. And if you have anything in your chart at all between 14 and 24 degrees of a mutable sign, you'll probably be feeling this. And as far as birthdays go, that probably means around the 4th to the 14th of the month in any of these signs. So if you're a Gemini born between the 4th and the 14th of the month, chances of you feeling this moon are pretty good. The same
Mm,
with the other three mutable signs.
yep.
Well, Julia, do we have anything else to say about this?
No, I think we covered it pretty well, Jamie.
I see that Luna has taken off.
No, she's just right here.
Aww, oh, I love that little puppers of yours. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. We certainly had fun making it for you. You can check out the monthly forecast where you will always find out more on Pandora Astrology's website in the forecast button in the navigation bar. And you will find this video and others like it organized on our YouTube channel in the November news playlist. And we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye.